Bienvenue à Paris, and to this special edition of the daily podcast episodes bringing you the inside stories from the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Allez, allez, allez! Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to this 9th episode of this special daily series. Thanks for joining me. We will be bringing you a short daily episode as we guide you on what to expect the next day at the Olympic canoe slalom and kayak cross in Paris and recap on the results of the last day's racing. I'm joined by Daniele Molmenti, Guille Diez Caneda and Richard Fox. Today we have results of the kayak cross time trial making its debut at the Olympics. No surprises, and all athletes from the time trial are placed in round 1 today. In the men's kayak cross time trial, first, second and third were three-time world champion Joe Clark from Great Britain with 66.08 seconds, followed by Pepe Gonzalez from Brazil and K1 men Olympic silver medalist Titouan Castric from France. In the women's kayak cross time trial, first, second and third were Camille Prigent from France with 70.33 seconds, followed half a second later by double Paris Olympic gold medalist Jess Fox from Australia and Mallory Franklin from Great Britain third. The time trial seeds the paddlers for round 1, where they go head-to-head with the others off the start ramp. From there, the progression system starts with the first 2 athletes of each race in round 1 proceeding directly to heats, while the remaining athletes proceed to repêchage. The first 2 athletes of each race in repêchage proceed to heats, and the remaining athletes are eliminated. Understandably, many of our potential guests are super busy on medal days. I was able to grab comments with London 2012 Olympic champion Daniele Molmenti. You can hear the pride in Daniele's voice and his description of the journey to become a champion.
Giovanni's victory is a dream, become a goal wrote in a paper, filled with the steps that make the process to reach a dream so big, and he did it. He's a great example of right attitude, because after Tokyo and the big disappointment, it was not so easy to restart dreaming what we were thinking we could really already take, and what we were thinking to deserve already. So it was a journey very methodical, written down on the paper and respected. It was hard to keep every step, every moment of hard training, analyzing, testing, arguing, pain, sadness, and everything that a great journey can really give to you. And he did it. He did it trusting what I was offering to him. That it was not only a dream, it was a clear, methodical process where the Olympic Committee Science Institute of Sport gave us, where my experience, the Ferrazzi experience, we could offer to him. So it's not something that happened because the stars were aligned, or because the luck goddess touched his head. It's something that he deserved because he wanted to take it. He worked to take it. He believed in what he were doing, and he finally did it. So this is an opportunity for me to show that there's only one way to win. It's not only dreaming, but it's working with science and method in the right way, in the right path, and then you can finally be a champion.
That was Daniele Molmenti. He represented Italy at the Olympics in Beijing and London. He joined us from Paris, France. Guille Diez Caneda has been another long-time supporter of the podcast and a fellow geek with his meta slalom analytics. He is in Paris coaching the Spanish team and shares what it means to see Pau take a kayak men's bronze.
So yeah, yesterday was pretty emotional. Paul was starting the first and the final, so it was like pretty long to wait until the end. That half an hour took like forever, but it was super emotional. I mean, just seeing him paddle the way he did, it was amazing. It was one of the best runs I've seen. I'm just fortunate to be there. Pau did what we imagined he could do. It was like going for it, not being afraid or something. He could do that or make 250s, but he seemed under control even if unleashed. So yeah, the result was like super beautiful run, super fast, and the only little shame is that touch on Guille Diez, so it could be a goal. Going first and putting 86 on the clock would have put a lot of pressure on the rest of the field, so it could have been even better. And it was a slight touch. I mean, it's not that something changed the line. So yeah, I mean, Xavi has done one of the most excellent jobs there is in coaching. First coaching Mayalen, now coaching both Mayalen and Pau, and managed to bring the knowledge from one to another, which is very, very hard to do. So yeah, we're all very happy, also because Pau is a super good guy. We love him. Everybody loves him, actually. Super funny. The persona has a lot of character, and yeah, I mean, he totally deserves it. It's going to be super good for all the Spanish canoeing family.
That was Guille Diez Caneda. He represented Spain at the Olympics in Beijing. He talked to us from Paris, France. Finally, I was happy to connect with proud dad Richard Fox, sharing insights about the sport. He really needs no introduction. 5 times individual canoe slalom world champion. Is the Fox camp still on cloud 9? I mean, congratulations.
We had the chance in London for Jess to race, and the story started there. And as that built and as Naomi progressed in the sport, then, her, I suppose, journey started at that point. And, questions in her mind, would she ever get to compete in the Olympics, because she was getting to a high level. And then as things turned around this year, with the quota qualification, and the additional places for Kayak Cross, then that was how it all landed. So yeah, it's not something that's been easily foreseen, and it's taken a lot of hard work. Well, one for Jess to do what she's done, and then 2 for Naomi to sort of really respond to that challenge and get through that qualification process in Prague, which was extremely arduous and challenging, and not by any means foregone conclusion. So that was incredible. So yeah, we're very lucky and grateful that both girls get to line up here in the kayak cross event, and that's special for them in a very unique way, and that's special for us as parents, and it's turned out that it's a pretty good story, so we're quite happy all around.
Yeah, I mean, you'd mentioned before the work that you and others have done to ensure canoe slalom was retained in the Olympics.
Well, that was 96 coming out of Atlanta. The government of New South Wales in Australia said, well, we're not going to do slalom in Sydney. It's too expensive. The venue won't get used after the games. And so we'll keep those athlete quotas and use them somewhere else. And so, yes, I was one of, a number of people that were involved in what was a sort of 9-month effort, really, to turn around that decision, which is not easy. And it came at the cost of athlete quotas to the sport. We had to use the numbers from sprint, but we did succeed in getting a course built in Penrith, and the ICF, with the support of many national federations, they were able to put together a deal with Penrith City Council that put half the cost of the course together, and Penrith City Council maintained the venue after the games for 20 years, and now it's back with the government. So next year we'll celebrate 25 years of that Olympic legacy, which is quite fitting. And that was our journey to Australia, really. It came about purely because that course got built for the Olympics, and I worked as a coach, and Miriam worked as a coach, and we made Australia our home. And that's enabled Jess and Naomi to have flourished in the sport, and here they are racing in Paris, of course.
Isn't that amazing? So I'm sure the showcase of Versaman must be giving you ideas and inspiration for Brisbane 2032. What stood out to you so far?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, the Olympics are evolving in the way that, there's a greater focus. There always has been in recent times on sports presentation, the experience, the spectator engagement, the events, the innovation. I was listening to, it was on Planet Canoe, actually, Tony Estongue talking about this new kayak cross event and the importance of sports being innovative, embracing change, and creating a better connection, improved accessibility, and so on. So I think there's lots to draw on from here, and also the sustainability question too. You don't necessarily see an awful lot of that around here. It's like massive infrastructure, 22 cameras, but the shift is more and more towards that. You see it more around the sort of transportation question, I guess. So yeah, there's plenty to draw on, and I think the opening ceremony shows that it's very much an engagement piece. Tradition, history, culture, and so on is important, but so is youth, and so is the next generation. So yeah, it's exciting to be here and to sort of draw on all of that.
So I was listening back to episodes from the Augsburg Worlds that you did with Selena Jones. I'm sure you remember that. You were talking about the TIP program. Is that still going? Is that still a functional part of the Olympics as well?
Yes, there are athletes here that have come through that TIP program, and last year the World Championships. I mean, it's more prominent, I would say, sort of during the World Cup, World Championship circuit. The Olympics, it's the sort of product. Some athletes make it through to the Olympics, to the kind of graduates of that program. And there are shining examples in the past. Benjamin Bukpeti was a medalist in Beijing, and Mati Sudi last year at the World Championships. So having African countries prominent in the final stages of competitions is great. Yeah, it's an important program, and it's a challenging one too, because where you've got a few athletes with talent that you can develop, but not support systems in their own country, their progress is going to be limited. So you've got to find those places and those opportunities and support them in a training camp environment. And I think the ICF's moving that way, but it is important. And, the future of our sport is global. And I think, events like the cross help that.
Okay, so in the same Augsburg commentary, we were talking about 17-year-old Titouan Castrik that made the final, and also Boris Navu, who made the same final.
Yeah, well, Titouan featured yesterday and was the likely winner until he made a mistake towards the end of the course. But he still won a silver medal and just shy of the gold. So that's pretty good for a 19-year-old. I know he showed disappointment there. Boris Navu, we can expect to feature in the cross. He's been a world champion in that event, and he's a very strong, powerful, physical paddler. So it'll be a good tussle between him, I think, and people like Joe Clark as well.
That was Richard Fox. He represented Great Britain at the Olympics in Barcelona. He talked to us from the course in Versaman, Paris, France. Thanks to my guests today, Daniele Molmenti, Guille Diez Caneda, and Richard Fox. Tomorrow's episode will bring results of the men's and women's kayak cross round 1 and repêchage. If you need more, read Vittoria Valdi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. I'm John Gregory. Thanks for listening. I'll be back in our next episode, released tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central European Time.
That's it for now. Please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube, and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean. Au revoir.